My sister, pursued me to at least go and report. I left the team of large team of around 700 people and become a one-member body of the new organization. I set up the new organization, and as large as 1,500 to 2,000 people directly as part of my direct responsibilities. So I comes to managing it. Would be the RPAs, it could be AI ML based conversational, AI solutions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series brought to you by the Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I am Taneol, and today we are truly honored to have with us a distinguished leader in IT infrastructure and service delivery with an impressive career spanning nearly 30 years. He has been at the forefront of driving operational excellence, automation, and innovation across some of the most prominent organizations in the world. Currently serving as Chief Operations Officer at ESDS Software Solutions, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Jitendra Pathak. Mr. Pathak, welcome to the podcast and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Tanay, for inviting and hosting me. Thank you.
So, sir, you've had an incredible career spanning nearly 30 years in IT infrastructure and service delivery, holding leadership roles at companies like ESDS, ConnectWise, Vodafone, and Wipro. Could you share what first drew you into this field and how your career has evolved over the years? We'd love to hear about the key moments that have shaped your journey and brought you to where you are today.
Good. I think that's a fundamental question. And to be very open, during the time some of us started our career journey, we had very limited options or choices. So I would say one is the compelling reason was I wanted to pick up something, and many of my colleagues and peers who are kind of veterans in the industry had the only choice to pick up IT technology as a solution or maybe a career opportunity for themselves. So one reason I chose because there were limited options and the best one was technology. The second one is I like problem solving and maybe not only within my own space or within the things around me, but across probably the community. And I felt that technology, IT, and the ecosystem around it can be a very good lever or can be a very good catalyst for me to enable that, and that's how I got inclined majorly to drive problem solving on the community issues which we face. Lastly, I found quite good leaders, as part of my journey, who kept inspiring me, who kept giving me feedback, keeping me on toes, and that's how I got into this. I hope that helps you. As far as few moments, key moments, there are many. I have probably during various phase of my professional journey, during the very early phase of my career, I made I was a techie, supporting a lot of customers for our previous organization, which is Wipro on field, and I made a big blunder, affecting, I would say, not the customer, but it could have costed. So I lost a inventory a part which I was carrying to replace in our customer environment, and it really became a big challenge for me to carry that part to a very remote location, and then I was completely exhausted throughout the day. Maybe I started at 5 a.m. and by the time I returned back home, it was 2 a.m. The next day. So in the bargain, I lost the spare which I was carrying along with me, and I got so scared. I would say this is a very early phase of my career journey. Maybe I was a trainee within the first year, and I decided or chose not to go office, just to abscond and not report, so that at least I am safeguarded. I was not sure how much is the cost of that spare, what would company do with me. And I next day I went and reported to my leader, the manager there, about the issue. Though I was very reluctant, my sister, pursued me to at least go and report and see. Okay, they will not physically harm you because they are a corporate. Rest all. Just take it on you and see what happens. Worst case, they will say you go. And I then reported to the office. Finally, my manager just says, "Okay, we will take care." And I was really wondering why the hell I was, so much worried. And he said, "Yeah, the part is insured, so no worries, it's reported." And so that's how I would say that is one incident which has kind of have a very great impact in my career journey. That one, it has always inspired me to try something. Just don't stop. Just don't assume things. Get clarification. So this is one incident. The second one is during the mid part of my career journey, wherein I was given an opportunity. I was leading a large team of more than 700, 800 people. Based on the success of that program, I was, you know, given a charge to set up something which is completely new. Nobody has tried. Uh, but during those days, there was a popular belief amongst leaders that if you have more number of people, you are more powerful. You are, very high up in the hierarchy and so on and so forth. But the deal was like, okay, you have to start it from scratch. We will not give you any fee from the existing team, but we want to try it out. And I left the team of large team of around 700 people and become a one member body of the new organization and try something. At that point in time, I made my manager, my leader, influence. He said, "Okay, Jitendra, this is not tried by anyone. Okay, if you succeed, you definitely will get recognition. You will be getting due credit of it. If you fail, there will always be an empathy or sympathy for you that okay, nobody tried, but you tried. So there is this like this is not a risky deal for you, right? So yeah, but you have to let go something and do something which is non-traditional. So that's another incident, which has kind of inspired me to take up something which is not being done. Do not get influenced by the myth of kind of who the leader is, and how powerful the leader is and where this power comes from. It's not from the number of people reporting to you. It's mainly the area of influence you carry. And I always give this example. Many of the board members of any organization do not have any single reporting, but they are sitting at the top. So that's another incident which has kept me going. I would stop here and maybe wanting to spend more time on the next set of questions. I hope you got what you wanted to hear from me.
Definitely, sir. Sir, at ESDS, you are leading a large team of over 500 members, managing incidents and problem resolution across multiple geographies. That must have come with its own set of challenges. How did you approach managing such a large scale operation while ensuring smooth collaboration across different regions?
Yeah. So ESDS is a relatively new team. So I would say, I have recently joined the organization, but I will share my experience throughout my career journey, wherein I have led a team as small as one individual when I set up the new organization, and as large as 1,500 to 2,000 people directly as part of my direct responsibilities, though I had many indirect as well. So I would say the key element is the culture, the people, and anything around it. So, we also have to identify and inspire set of leaders. We need to have right kind of development plan in line with the meeting the aspirations of the people. We need to also invest in what our customers and what our stakeholders want. So first thing first, identify what is the need of my people to deliver or to achieve something irrespective of the geography. Now, the second element is culture. Now, what is better fit for which culture? We know Europe has a different culture, US has a different culture, Asia in Middle East has a different culture, India maybe multi-cultures within the India itself, right? So understanding the pulse, what would fit in? I think one solution may not fit everywhere. So I would say the another element with respect to how do we influence or achieve something which we want to achieve through the diverse set of people is understand the dynamics, what works well, what does not work well, what kind of words I can use in certain countries, certain geographies, what kind of words I can't use. What is the local compliance law? What are the local regulations? I need to understand. So the first element is people, as I said, try to understand what is their need. Second element is the culture. I think, and the last one is have a proper alignment of our culture, our structure, our strategy, and have a proper people development plan. This helps us achieve whatever we want. I don't you want to limit it, and it is not only any organization; it is within the community as a whole. A lot of people, even though they are part of one organization, but they are able to influence a lot of the social cause wherein they are working with diverse set of people, not even part of the direct reporting structure, or maybe they are not kind of stakeholders who are at least monetarily going to benefit, or any other due credits which are with generally we give it within the organization, but still they work. I hope this is the thing which I believe. There could be many more philosophies, but this worked for me well, irrespective of the culture, irrespective of the organization, irrespective of the type of people I have worked with.
Yeah, very well said, sir. So, managing the support for around 100,000 users at Vodafone must have been quite a feat. As the saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility. How did you ensure seamless service delivery on such a large scale while maintaining operational efficiency? I'd love to hear about the strategies or processes you put in place to keep everything running so smoothly.
Okay. So again, I am trying to logically tie up and connect the earlier point which we discussed. Whatever we want to achieve, first we need to ensure that we understand the people dynamics, we understand the cultural angle, and then we talk about the technology and other aspects. So first and foremost, whatever areas we tried to streamline was talking to the team which we are working with us or our own team, who generally has a lot of day-to-day challenges managing it. So I would first start with the advocating the solutions which can help the existing set of team who are day in and day out working with a lot of opportunities within their processes. So first, identify what are the gaps in the existing process. Second, can it be automated? Can some of the process steps be eliminated? If it can be eliminated and simplified, we should go towards that. We don't need any technology or tooling solution. Then we get into identifying what are the set of technological solutions available when it comes to managing. It could be the RPAs, it could be AI ML based conversational AI solutions, predictive solutions, and so on and so forth. So it's a combination of aligning the mindset of the people that okay, whatever we are going to drive as part of achieving the efficiency is going to solve my own problem. So that's first approach or first strategy while implementing any improvement areas. Of course, if we drive that automation and simplify the processes for our own team, uh, the next step is it gives bandwidth to the team to do something better which can add value to the our customers, our other stakeholders. So the next area is identify how this available bandwidth, because I have freed up existing bandwidth or existing time from the team, can be utilized better to come up with improvements, gain the process gap analysis, which we are the processes which are getting used for delivering of our customer solutions, customer services, customer any kind of requirements, and try addressing that to the optimal use of the automation solutions, simplifying the customer experience journey by introducing either effective tools and solutions, making right changes in the overall structure. Last but not least, all this drives certain change in the way we are operating. Now, as humans, we like changes, but we like changes those we want to see. We don't like changes those we don't want, right? So unfortunately, at a lot of times, we tend to drive the change which benefits, or which probably which gives us a lot of satisfaction, a lot of kind of kick within. But the changes which may be right, which may be good, and may be difficult, which I try to ignore. So a proper organization change management, having a right kind of communication plan in place, identifying the right stakeholders who could be adversely impacted, and how we are taking care of introducing such changes, I think it becomes easy for us to drive operational efficiency as well as enhance our customer and stakeholders experience.
True, sir. So, with sustainability becoming such a key focus in today's business world, our viewers would like to hear your thoughts on how ESG principles are shaping the future of corporate leadership. And how do you see these principles driving long term business success? And how have you personally incorporated them into your leadership approach over the years?
So I did mention a lot of time in our earlier conversation about community as well. So I
Right.
firmly believe that we all citizens of our country, and humans, as of mother, maybe residing on mother earth, are responsible for ensuring that the generations after generations are able to leverage the kind of privilege we have. That's the principle. So first and foremost, one area which I am passionately working in my individual capacity is driving education towards underprivileged children's, and mainly it's not the normal kind of approach we are trying to teach problem solving. We are trying to teach these, logical reasoning. We are trying to teach coding in a very simple fashion, which could solve their community problems. So I'm associated with a foundation called PyJam Foundation, and in my capacity based, I'm trying to work closely with the PyJam Foundation in terms of supporting them. So that's one element which I am trying to do myself. As far as strategy is concerned, I think it has to be multifaceted. One is improving the overall living conditions of the people surrounding us. That's when I said the education play a big role. The second is improving the recycling of the components, the physical things which are actually going to affect the planet. And that's where I think I would here talk about ESDS. We have a mission to have technology, co-creating a technologically advanced, greener data center, primarily to cater to our needs. Number one. Number two is we are trying to see how we can have more greenery around. How we are kind of reducing carbon footprint. Being a data center, we consume a lot of power. So how we give it back, how we use alternate source of energy on that. So that's another area where we are talking about and driving the sustainability. Last but not least, in whatever capacity I can influence the set of people around me, either through my own my own network, my professional network, my personal network, the community as a whole, and society as a whole. So I think these are few things. There is no defined way of how you can drive, but I think it has to be part of our DNA. We have to become conscious. As leader, I have to demonstrate that I am very conscious about it, and so the other people will follow. So I would say there's no specific one strategy which helps, but one demonstrate, when you are a conscious leader, you want to really contribute and identify areas where we can. The two areas where we are working on is, as I said, on educating the children for problem solving, which ultimately make them conscious or drives, deriving some of the solutions around the sustainability problems we have. The second one is building the greener data center.
So, your extensive experience in managing security and network services on such a large scale, we would love to hear thoughts on where cybersecurity is headed. With the rapid rise of automation and AI, how do you see the landscape evolving in the coming years, and what should businesses be preparing for in terms of new challenges and opportunities in cybersecurity?
Yeah, so it's a continuous journey, and there are bad actors who will try to create, but some or the other nuisance, and we have to always catch up with them, in terms of protecting what they are doing. I think, but that's more of a reactive approach.
Yeah.
A lot of bad actors are primarily acting on the behest of, kind of certain motives. I think we should also try to see those motives and kill it. That's more of a strategic or a kind of diplomatic way of handling the cybersecurity. As far as technology is concerned, I think we are playing a catch-up game. We will continue to do so with the innovation or the capability on the AI space. A lot of threats can be automatically detected. The threats can be a lot of vulnerabilities can be automatically detected and fixed. Um, we also have to keep working on driving ethical standards across the industry. Try to see one we are again within the organization. If we see something which is going to be a little challenging on for us as an organization, for us or the community. Let's say if we are developing a new product or a new solution which can be misused by these bad actors, how do we prevent it to be reaching out to them? So that's also another element to do it. We need to have a better risk management framework in place. So apart from the technologically advanced SIM solutions, which is security incident and event management solutions, data leakage preventions, intrusion detection preventions, IDPs, a lot of DDoS attack detection. There are a lot of solutions which are already available. So we have to ensure that one, it is being understood by the industry as a whole and given due recognition that these are the things are required for us to manage and keeping the bad actors away from what we are doing. Second, as I said, through building an ethical framework, building awareness about the people, and if at all we are able to identify who are all the set of people who are doing, probably apart from the stringent law, I think we also need to have a kind of rehabilitation or retraining or maybe reshaping their thought process and do it so I think these are multi-pronged approach we can take as an industry to take care of this. With the evolution of the AI, as I said, though it is possible for us to protect, but then the solutions like deep fake, deep voice, are the things which are going to really mess up or which are going to really affect us. So we need to have advanced kind of tools, trainings for our existing colleagues, employees, and the people around us for them to easily detect it. So have a practice of checking before you react or respond. Those kind of things are to be done to ensure that we minimize the challenges and the risk which is coming through the cybersecurity challenges.
Precaution is better than cure, 100%. So you managed multi-million dollar budgets and held significant P&L responsibilities throughout your career. I'm curious, how do you see these financial leadership skills transitioning to a boardroom setting, especially when it comes to providing strategic oversight and guiding long-term fiscal decisions? What unique perspective would you bring to the table in those discussions?
Okay, so I firmly believe, a lot of time when we decide, and I will start with more of a transactional, example, and then we will move towards a more broader perspective. But let's say anything which get introduced, of course, all organizations have like a business planning for maybe next 1, 2, 3 years. Then there is a budgeting happens. The budgeting again gets allocated to respective departments, and then departments have plan it further to invest it in accordance with whatever opex capex they have planned. That's a very traditional way. I think what we need to introduce or what we need to work around is having the right kind of business cases. A lot of time, whenever a business case is prepared for bringing new solution or entering into a new geography or trying to do something new, we limit our purview to very kind of hard benefits in terms of the profits or hard cash, in terms of the costs, okay, or in terms of the risks and effort around it, and finally the time. So these are like easy things to manage. Risk may not be as easy, but rest all of the things are easy. And maybe I would say it has become easy because over the time we have a lot of traditional models in place which can be. What is important is whenever we are introducing a solution or trying to review, the proposals, what are the softer benefits and how we can have those intangibles converted into the tangible number for board to decide. The softer benefits could be around let's say time to market, or minimizing the risks, or kind of saving efforts on a longer run, which actually kind of can be easily converted. But it could be another area is increase in our customer satisfaction or net promoter score and experience around it. So all these are, though it may be tangible, but people are not able to tie it up with the business cases, business proposals, and reviews. So how these can affect? So better kind of mechanisms to ensure that some of the softer aspects of the business is also introduced while we review and go on, apart from the financial, which I think we have traditionally understood, and most of us are already doing from last so many years. The second element I feel is the compliance and the regulatory, with the board, with the kind of positions we hold, a lot of responsibility comes automatically on us. So we need to be very much aware of what are the regulatory and compliance needs, and all of these needs are defined primarily to help the respective business. So we need to understand that it's not a burden, but it's kind of an enabler or a catalyst for us to ensure that we are driving good governance around it. So having right kind of governance mechanism in place around the risks, around the regulatory compliance needs, and how it is actually being monitored, how it is getting reported, whether it's the right kind of quality assurance processes are in place, whether the right kind of audits and is in place, whether the org structure is properly defined to ensure the segregation of duty is in place. The if there are conflict of interest, it's identified and everybody is comfortable declaring around it. So some of these aspects have to be kept in mind. And I would give a very any classic example of a CIO versus CISO. In many organizations, the CISO, reporting is back to a CIO, and CIO becomes like end-to-end responsible for all of the administration, operations, support of the technology solution. If CISO reports into CIO, there is a high probability of something getting covered up. So we need to review the org structure to ensure that there is a segregation of duty, there is a maker checker concepts in place. These are the unique perspective I would probably bring in when it comes to the board discussions. Apart from the financial performance, apart from the growth, apart from the strategy, apart from the sovereignty of our data, which is very critical these days with the solutions providers have multi-geographic presence, and the data, the privacy of the data, having strong kind of governance around that also is equally important when it comes to financial or the overall board leadership. Of course, with respect to financials, we need to ensure that we have a right kind of outlook defined. We have very clear strategy and plan. We have committed leaders, and we are regularly measuring our plan versus actual and not realizing it in the end of the quarter. So we need to have right kind of matrices, right kind of systems in place to have a real time information around it. Hope this helps.
Yeah. Sir, as you've progressed through Directors Institute program, I'm curious, what elements of the program do you feel have really stood out in preparing for boardroom roles? Are there any particular lessons or insights that you believe will have the biggest impact on your approach to governance and leadership at the board level?
Yeah. I think one, it has, so thanks, Director Institute for taking through this journey. The most important element which I have probably touched upon during this course or during this kind of engagement is how do we structurally put things in place. A lot of things are known to us either in pockets or because of the virtue of our own requirements at certain point in time when during our professional journey. So first important element is the DI, the Directors Institute, has been put the has been able to put all of this content and the programs, the sessions and the topics in a very structural, kind of organized fashion, and with a quite right kind of sequence which is lined up, which actually takes us through the journey rather than bombarding the topics, kind of. Randomly, right? So that is one aspect, and it is available on demand rather than I have to have my time. So the LMS is available on demand. That's where I get very flexible option. Based on my availability, I can go to those sessions. The multifaceted approach taken by Directions Institute, one in terms, one of course is the LMS based, the on-demand training sessions, but of the industry expert connect, the recorded sessions and the live sessions along the Q&A sessions which you organize, the ecosystem which you have built within or which Director Institute has built within their own organization in terms of somebody helping you asking the right questions to have right kind of frame in place. In Another element to it is have somebody checking in on you in terms of whether you're going right, whether you are have some challenges, how they can help. And finally, I would say overall, helping us register our though I'm a registered BIN member, but I think the kind of confidence I will have if I join boards as an independent director in future, can also be very different after pursuing this goal. Last but not least, the important, the very, I would say, interesting aspect was the ESG element, and I really liked that piece as well. That is also very well organized, in terms of topics, in terms of orientations.
Lovely, sir. I greatly appreciate the valuable insights you shared with us today, sir. So, firstly, thank you so much for that. Your expertise in IT infrastructure, service delivery, and leadership truly sets you apart as a visionary in your field. I have no doubt that your journey will inspire many future leaders, and thank you for your understanding and explanation of your journey. Thank you once again for your time and for being a part of FaceTime with leaders. And yes, looking forward to bringing more stories to our viewers here from inspirational personalities like you.
Thank you, Tanay, for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.